pronunciation. And order, order, order. And ma'am, what words do you have to practice?
Words to practice something. You can like explore.
And how many more minutes do you have to go before you finish? Okay, now don't skip out on your reading, okay? I'll know. Right, ma'am, come and fetch your prize, please. Right. Oh no, I'm so bad at choosing. This is stressing. This is the most stressful part. Ah! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is really stressful. I'm going to go to the person who has a friend pointing at them because those friends are clearly the real ones because they're trying to get them up here. So, yes, you at the back because the friends are clearly pointing. Yes, you. Yes, no, you in the red jacket, the red plaid jacket. Right. Are you ready? Are you steady? Go.
She had a bright prince brown eyes that twinkled in the sunlight. Lily loved exploring the island, hopping from one little cave to another and watching the fish swim by. She envied their freedom to glide effortlessly through the water. Lily often dreamed about swimming alongside them, dreaming of one day making it happen. One day, while bouncing around the island, Lily spotted an object washed up on the shore. Curious getting the best of her, she slowly approached the mysterious item. It was a map, and it wasn't just any map. It was a treasure map. Her heart started racing, and she immediately knew what she had to do. With determination in her heart, Lily began following the map. She hopped over the rocks and through the thick jungle, her little legs never tiring. As she reached the end of the trail of the map, Lily found herself at the edge of a tall cliff. She gasped in awe at what she saw. In the distance was a cave, hidden deep within the creepers. She knew this was a place marked on the map. Without hesitation, Lily leaped off the edge of the cliff into the water below and started swimming as fast as she could towards the cave. Will Lily find the treasure, or will she journey to find it more important than the treasure itself? Only time will tell.
Wow. I have to ask, which level did you choose? I could tell, yes. Fantastic. Can you tell me what your percentage was? If you don't mind sharing. It's not showing. Did you press record? It's a good place to start. Okay, while they try to sort that out, she's got my fantastic assistant Candace with her. I want you to go to the home button and I want you to add your own passage. So you can see there's a passage from our library. Once again, that's only English. I will be with you in a second, ma'am. I won't forget you though. Right? So we're going to skip over that because I want to show you something really cool. How many teachers here teach in a language that is not English? No one? How many of you have learners in your class that struggle with the crossover between English and their home language? Great, so we can make something work here. Cool, 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 cool. Right, so I want to go to add your own passage. Okay. Okay. And I was smart enough to go and put this into my PowerPoint. As you can see, this is not English. If you didn't realize that. And I, by some miracle, passed Zulu when I was in university. But if I'd known about this when that was happening, things would have turned out very differently. So I'm going to highlight this and, oh man. Goodness gracious. There we go. Oh. Yeah, let's try. Right, so I'm gonna paste it in. Okay, there we go. It's in my thingy-mabob. Now it does this thing where it's trying to read what language, and it was saying it was Indonesian. So that was pretty crazy. I was like, I think we're on the wrong side of the world for that. So if somebody could just tell me what is Jabu and Lulu in Afrikaans, that exact, in Zulu, what's that phrase? Yeah, how do you? Okay, and how do I say and? Am I good? Okay, am I passing Zulu now? Okay. Then, you see, it says it's Indonesian. But remember, we solemnly swear not to trust AI, right? So we're going to manually go and select the correct language. Doobie-doobie-doo. Almost there. And there it is. Yay! Small wins, right? Small wins. Right? Oh, did you see Swahili? Okay, apparently we have Swahili on here. I will look and then tell you. Okay, cool. We have another African language. Yay! Small wins, right? We'll eventually get them all on here, but we're working on it. Okay, and we're going to confirm it now. Please, may I have a teacher who speaks Zulu and can read it? Vivian, who do I choose? Vivian, choose one. See, now it's Vivian's problem, not mine. Okay, ma'am, will you come up on stage? Come up on stage. Well, then you can use 2 mics. Okay, before she steals my thunder, okay, I want to, don't stop counting me down. Just wait. I want to show you some, now it's my voice. Okay, that's fine. Just some inclusive education things. You can change the size of your reading, right? If we have any language with any learners with some visual issues, right? We can decrease spacing or increase it. You can even change the way it's written because foundation phase teachers, I know you can back me up on this. Sometimes the learners, if it's not in the exact same font, they can't read it. So there it is. If you have some learners that struggle with, if they have, oh gosh, thank you, color blindness, you can change the backgrounds and add more colors, right? Then we can go with our grammar. So for our English teachers, unfortunately, it doesn't have this for the Zulu. You can go and highlight your nouns, your verbs, your adjectives, and your adverbs, and we'll highlight them for you in different colors, okay? And then however you want to do it, if you have learners that struggle, so I know I struggle to read in straight lines. Weird, I know. It can actually make you do that for you, right? And unfortunately, it usually has a picture dictionary, but now it doesn't, right? So I'm going to turn that off unless apparently you have to read like that now. It's not getting turned off. There we go. Okay, are you ready?
And not yet.
I can't.
Oh, you got it.
No, it's too
But
late
I'll
now.
read it as it.
Okay,
Can I read it?
let me just restart you because I think it took in my whole talk. You see, I got like a 3% accuracy there. Cool. Once again, don't trust the AI because I did that while I was sitting there. And are you ready?
Ngelanga elinelanga, inja igama layo linguJabu nekati uLulu. Bahlangana eduze komfula. Ekuqaleni abazwisisani kahle. uJabu wayethanda ukugijima, aqoshe amabhola, kanti uLulu wayezithule futhi ekhetha ukulala elangeni. Kwathi uma kuqala imvula enkulu, bobabili babalekela ngaphansi kwesihlahla esifanayo. Bahlala eduze, baxoxa, bahleka. Ngobusuku obulandelayo, uJabu wabelana ngocezu lwesembatho sakhe sokulala noLulu. Kusukela ngalolo suku baba abangani abakhulu. Badlala ndawonye, baphumula ndawonye, bafunda ukuthi noma behlukile, ubungane bungakhula ngokuhloniphana nokuqondana. Amen.
Now, if I had tried that. If you guys bring me chocolate, we can discuss that. Negotiations are on the table. But don't worry, you get a prize. Definitely, it's not a plushie.
Not a problem.
You can have some of these cute things.
Oh, yes, no, but it's simple.
Right. Okay, I'll tell you what. Find me a simple, emphasis on simple passage, and I'll come read it from your computer. Emphasis on simple. I'm talking like grade 1 level. Right, so are we all so far good with reading progress? Reading coach, sorry. Right, so we're gonna just go, I'm not gonna try to practice those words, but, right? Now, if we could change over to the teacher tab, I guess we would call it teacher tab. Now, as you can see, none of my students completed my test because I have no students. But if you send out a test practice, which I'll show you how to do, okay? Obviously, this does not help much because it doesn't tell you all the children that did not read because, yeah, I need to get back in the classroom. But here you can see that this will take 20 minutes to read because, come on, kids can do it. They just don't want to, right? It's going to show you the time they took to read, the passages, the correct words per minute, right? So if you have a learner that reads especially slow, you can see if they've improved or not, right? And then their accuracy. Cool? Are we good? Thank you to the 3 people that answered. Right. So I'm going to show you guys quickly how to make a new one. So you're going to click the button new. Okay? And you're going to see here that you have to give it a title because our admin side of teachers know that you need to name everything, right? We don't want that no name Brad paper. Okay, so let's think of Ooh, goodness gracious. Right? And I'm going to make it due for the 18th because why not? And now, here you can see it says open reading and single passage. Open reading means your learners get to choose what passage they read, right? So this is nice if you have a big gap in between your readers. So if you have your readers who are on the lower level and your readers who are already reading university textbooks, right? This is nice for them because they can choose what they want. Or you can do a single passage, which students read and it's chosen by you, right? Which is great for practice for an assessment, for example, right? We good so far? So let's go with single passage. And we're going to go select from the library because we're fancy pants. I'm going to go next. Now, none of these look interesting. Ooh, let's actually make it. What grade should we do? Grade 7, cool. Right? Well, we're going to go level 7. I don't know if that is for grade 7, but it is what it is. Let's do the mighty semiconductor and the rise of Silicon Valley. That sounds interesting. Right? And here's our passage, which is very long, but that is fine. I'm going to say next. And this is your join code, right? So let's say your learners are going to practice this in class because you were a brave teacher and you're not afraid of the sound that it will sound of all the children talking at once. Okay. You can give them this, or you can give them this and they can practice it at home. Right? Cool. Or if you do after school reading or what's it called? English extra lessons, any of that you can kind of do. You're going to click done. And there's our test set, right? It will tell you how long it is, how many students have done it, and how many of them have completed it. Once you have that, right, then you can see all of their information. We good? Right. One more thing I think you might like is it this one? It should be this one. Let's try. No, I'm going to go AI. No, I lie. Let's see. No. Oh, yes, for that girl at the top. The girl at the top. Right. For some reason, I can't show you the thing I wanted to show you, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. So, do we have any questions? Okay, cool. Just turn on your mic so everyone can hear you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, can learners, you see now with the reading, it's quite difficult because AI actually needs to hear them read.
Mm-hmm.
But is there a way that maybe learners are recorded and then teachers can upload recordings? Like, what are the print out options?
So that would go under something called reading progress, which is almost the assessment version of this. Okay, this is more for your practice. But in reading progress, your learners will record themselves talking, upload it, and then it will mark them, right? Which means they would be able to send it to the teacher to mark. Another thing that you can do with this, like I mentioned, you can do it individually or, oh goodness, you can do it individually or in a classroom, is you can very easily just, do you work at a specific school that you're thinking of? Do you have a projector in your classroom? Does it shine light and you can kind of see things? Great, right? With that, just do what we're doing. Project it, have a kid come up to your computer and let them read. Mm. Mm-hmm.
I'm using AI. If you have one learner read at 1 minute per session, how do you do that?
What I would recommend, and this is going more into your inclusive education side, is you'd have to look into how you differentiate your teaching. So you'd have to look at the different levels of what your learners are reading at before you can make a decision like that. Also, you would then differentiate the reading levels off of here for them to read. You might have to split them into groups and have certain groups go at once. So have group A do a level 1 and it takes them 10 minutes. Group 2 does 10 minutes. That might work. But you'd kind of have to really look at the situation that you have. I can't exactly give you a whole umbrella solution over that. It kind of depends. But if you do want to discuss it a bit more afterwards, we can kind of bounce some ideas and see what we can do. Can we have a badge or a sticker for the lovely lady who asked the question? Yes, ma'am. I'll be with you, sir. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
AI is here to help. But then I've been looking at, for example, when I'm teaching grade 10 geography. So I give them a research, right? So they went on and used AI to gather data and get information. And their customer was really good with all of that. But then now when it comes to the exam, they're still struggling. It shows that they simply copied the information and put it back to me, which I already know that. But then now I'm more looking into the ethic consideration of this and also making sure that we don't produce people who are certificated and not educated.
100%. I love that. That's such a cool little, I feel like that was like a drop the mic version. So I 110% agree with your concern. So I did teach e-learning for students. And I used to tell them, if you're going to lie to me, at least try lie properly. Okay, because if you do look at AI work, you can tell little Johnny was going from 20% to all of a sudden now he's going to 60%. The other cool thing is you can use AI against itself. So if you're suspecting they've copied it, put it into AI and say, was this AI generated? You can do that. And I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier of we as teachers in all spheres of teaching are responsible for raising, or not raising, although it's almost like we're raising children, is teaching the children to be the best version of themselves holistically and in all spheres. And it's important to know if you copy and paste from AI, that is considered plagiarism, right? So if your learners are doing that, I don't know your school rules, but all the schools I've taught at is it's 0, right? Personally, I stand by that because children have a brain and they can use it. And like you're saying, we need to make sure they're educating them. So on a quick side note, that's still in line with what you're asking is, right? Can you see here, it gives a little number 1 and a number 2, right? AI references its work. So what you should encourage students is if they're using AI, because you can't stop them, right? That's just as plain as it is. They still need to go and reference their work. And by grade 10, they should be referencing, correct? They need to actually add in the references. .ai is not a website, okay? Like Wikipedia, it's not a thing that can just be cited. So encourage them to actually go take that information and make them solemnly swear not to just trust AI, because you will be getting that Mount Vesuvius actually didn't explode, right? You need to make sure that you're teaching that, and that is your responsibility as a teacher. Where yes, we have the good side of AI, but yes, we also have the bad side of AI. But there's a good and bad side to everything. And it's everybody here's responsibility as a teacher to make sure that we're doing the best that we can for students. I'm going to take 2 more questions. I think I have time for that. You, sir, and then you, ma'am, in the yellow jersey who led us in song. You also had a question. I told you I wouldn't forget about you. Okay, wait, I'll do 3, then you, okay? And then after everything is done, you can find me and we can chat. Yes, sir. Hi.
Dr. McMahon, motivation. Talk about there should be any teacher left behind in terms of looking at currently what we're having overcrowding
Mm-hmm.
talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was reading a book about Victor Hugo,
Mm-hmm.
coming from where I'm coming from as an individual. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be a victim, but now looking at how we empower teachers.
Mm-hmm.
We still got a lot of teachers, and I want to know
Mm-hmm.
what is Microsoft doing this, because as much as I know it's not your problem in terms of looking at technology, but we still got teachers that we are really behind.
So
We have this, I think, called the term of our getting to work with the content. But how can we deal with this? I think AI is here, technology is here to assist. What can we do to help our learners not be left behind in our teaching?
that's a loaded question, and I'm going to let Vivian answer it.
Given by the free education courses that are on the Microsoft Learn for Educator site. All right, those courses are free for teachers to use. Most teachers in South Africa have been issued a government laptop or an education department laptop. Okay? And unfortunately, if some of them don't work, then you need to go back to the IT people and find that sorted out. And I know it does take time. But when it comes to the tools that Microsoft makes available to everybody, that is on the Microsoft Learning site. We work with partners like UNISA to come and bring this information to you. We do understand, as SCATCO, as Microsoft, as UNISA, there are schools that face severe challenges. We understand that. But the schools that have access and can do things, and I know I'm going to be,
one more question.
do they have to wait for the schools that don't have? It's a very difficult question. All right. And we work, and I was speaking to Jennifer, right? Genevieve, just now as well. There's ways and means. You need to, as a school, go and approach businesses in your area and say, guys, you're going to have an old laptop in a year's time. Please give it to us. All right. Corporate social investment is a thing, and there are huge companies that donate devices. There are high schools that when they replace their computer lab devices or their teachers' devices, they need to give them to someone. Go and find another high school or another primary school in your area that you could partner up with for secondhand devices. There's a company called Go Rental. They do second-hand devices at really cheap prices. All right, they sell them and they rent them on a daily basis or a monthly basis. I know, and you're going to go, oh, she's talking about money again. Unfortunately, things like this does cost money. All right. I personally know every 2-3 years, all the provincial departments go to tender to request a pricing for devices and so forth, and then the teachers get new devices. It's a cycle. It doesn't happen just overnight. And remember, somebody has to pay for it. And at the end of the day, we see the budgets that come in, and it's billions and billions and hundreds of millions rands of budgets that come in, but there's a lot to be done with it. And the infrastructure discussions at schools, if you've been reading the news in the last week, is a big topic of discussion. And hopefully they will slowly but surely start getting it sorted out. I know there's some districts that are trying to pool devices, that this week the one school uses it and then it goes to another school. So there's various ways. Something as simple as if you have a cell phone and you can speak to the parents of your class, if they can all give you some money towards data, all right, then you'll be able to use tools like this in the classroom, just with that little bit of extra data. So there's ways and means. It's about learning to think differently. I think all of us were at school when, and are still being taught a very linear way. We now need to start climbing up that box to think a little bit differently. And hopefully sessions like this helps and inspires you. Microsoft helps with educational tools. They help with learning courses, and it takes millions to create that stuff. Okay. Answer your questions.
Right. I'm going to take two more questions, and then I've already pointed out the people, and then we have to move on. Otherwise, we're not going to be allowed back at UNISA.
Sorry, I think my question was relating to overcrowding. And I'm not talking about resources. Resources we understand. Mine is, I could see you guys are developing tools. How can you assist, come up with tools to assist those teachers in overcrowding classes? I don't expect every child to have, but even if a cell phone, because I can see mine is, we are not dealing to assist those teachers, even if I've got a cell phone. How can I help? Because, like you find learners, 80 learners in a class. Now, I'm talking about you developing tools. You're talking about, I'm going to the deeper part that, can you please develop tools that can able to assist our learners in overcrowding, a teacher especially.
So, sir,
Thank
your
you.
question is massive. This is not a question that I can answer in the next 5 minutes for you. So could we perhaps have this conversation afterwards? Just because it's such a big question, I'm not going to be able to answer it for you in 2 minutes.
All right, I just want to respond on my colleagues on the issue of overcrowding. So one thing about overcrowding is not, it's for the department or the national department. It needs to be addressed by the government, national government. The minister know about this issue. So I don't think anyone else can resolve these things besides the national government, because I once argue in my paper saying that you cannot say let's build neutral bathrooms while we still have pit latrine bathroom, while we still have other schools that don't have bathrooms, So we cannot rush on something that it's far to be achieved than sort out the problems that we're currently having right now. So the infrastructure is bad. So we need to sort out the infrastructure. After sorting out the infrastructure, and then we move on to say, okay, now let's deal with the issue of overcrowding. So I think the government must start there. For now, as teachers, if they give me 48 learners, I'm going to go be there, teach, and try to implement the knowledge. But I know exactly, I cannot implement the knowledge or install the knowledge as a grade 1 teacher to each and every child. Because remember, each and every child need time. There are those who catch up early. There are those who can't do that. So they need your time. But the government see those problems each and every day. That's why you will find someone in grade 12. That person can't read because the person missed that thing in grade 1. Then he was pushed. Even the system, they said, don't allow the child to be here into.
Yeah, I think colleagues, I think there are a lot of questions that you're asking that are systemic issues that we need to address. I don't think we can ask Microsoft to address those issues because they're an industry. I don't think you can ask UNISA to address those issues because it's out of our scope. I think one of the resolutions that we made, if you remember, if you were here when we had 1,000 teachers sitting in ZK Matthews, if you were here, one of the things that we said was, let's bring the representatives from government and sit with them here, because we cannot answer those questions. We cannot answer why we have overcrowded schools because it's a social issue. You either have an overcrowded school with 48 students when you're supposed to have 20 students, or lose that 28 students completely, right? So somewhere along the line, we sacrifice because we know what we have to do, right? So it's not a matter of saying we got 48 students in our class, because the reality is, if you were supposed to have 30 and you have 18 extra, what happens to that 18 if we don't have them in the class? So somewhere along the line, we also have to say that it is our responsibility to address these issues, but we can't lose that 18 students, right? But I think let's keep those questions, because they are very important questions, because it also leads to success rates of what we're doing. Let's keep it when we do have a conversation. And I think, Professor Makano, maybe we need to engage DVE with a separate, we are working with DVE at a national level, and I think it is becoming more of an immediate intervention that we do have them present when we have the next session, and we engage this. But let me also not say this out. I don't think that even if we have DVE officials at a national level sitting here, we can resolve the issue, right? So I think let's start somewhere with the conversation. And Prof. Makano, when we meet the college, maybe we can pick this up. Okay, so colleagues, before we break up into, so I'm hoping that we can pick up the conversations during lunch. I know there are many other questions, but we're also running out of time. So we will pick up the conversations during lunch. So just before we break, this is some announcements, right? So August, we will have no teachers' lessons. It's Women's Month. So, so you can take a break, right? Okay. Only the men can come for lessons. So September, the first Saturday in September, first week in September, we will have a teacher session. And Prof. Makano, what we said for the teachers is, Vivian is here as well, we're going to change it a little bit. So for the teacher sessions, because we need SACE points, we're going to ask the teachers in the other province to go to UNISA regional centers. And we stream from here into the regional centers. We will provide lunch for them in the regional centers, and they can sign a physical register in the center and get the SACE points. Okay? Then learners will be the third Saturday of September. The third, so for the learners, every third Saturday in that month, we'll have a learner session. Now, this is very important. It's useless us getting the knowledge here and not allowing your learners to get the knowledge. Now, imagine if you walked into a class and your students already knew basic digital literacy and AI competencies. Do you need to teach them that? No, because we are teaching them that. So what we want you to do is get your teachers, get your schools and as a system to class Saturday of the military, UNISA is understanding classes right from basic AI to subject specific content. Right, we are to go to that. We want you to do is get your schools that into the system that every the third Saturday of the month. You said that the online classes, you said right from basic AI to subject specific content. Grades 8 to grade 10. And here's the other thing, is that the school that brings the most students into these class sessions, UNISA will come and run a full day technology expo with your students, right? We're not going to charge you with it. We will come. And now this also goes for anywhere in the province. We're not saying Gauteng, we're saying anywhere in the province. If you bring your most students online, we will come. And I'm putting Vivian in a spot. Microsoft and SCADCO is going to join us as well, right? So we will come to your school and run a full day expo with technology that we've got on our side, right? So it's, yes. Okay, perfect. So the teachers who are joining online. So we got many teachers that are joining us online. Now here's the thing for you. If you are in a school where you have many students that are joining online, you simply stream it to your students and we're going to teach for you on that Saturday. So which means you can be a teacher with 50 students in your class and we'll be teaching online the students, right? So it means you don't need to teach on that Saturday. You're not going to get paid overtime anyway, right? So this is it. All you need to do is then send us that class register of your students in that class streaming with evidence, and we'll count it as part of that school contribution. Okay, you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay,
So, Dr.
perfect.
Chetty, sorry,
Yes.
just on that. So we call it watch parties. So you get your students together in the class and you do a watch party. All
Yeah.
right. When it's being streamed on a Saturday. So you can make it quite an interactive day for them as well. Right? And it's literally a 2-hour session. It's amazing sessions. We participated in the first one, the inaugural one. And it was interesting to see the questions that were coming from the students, what they're asking for. They're asking to be taught differently.
Yeah.
The students are definitely asking for that.
And here's a good one for you. In some of our sessions, we had parents in the classes. So if you struggle to get your parents in your class and communicate, they are coming online, and they are asking questions online, right? I mean, we had an interesting question where a student said, or parents said, "I'm here because my child is in an IEB school, and can we use this in an IEB school?" So can you imagine that level of engagement, right? So let's go up quickly with our program. So now we're going to break for 1 hour. We're going to go for 1 hour for the workshops, right? And the workshops are this way. So Dr. Makato Kuno, if you can stand up. Dr. Makato Kuno, she's going to talk about AI to design teaching and learning activities, and she's going to be using this venue, okay? We're just going to change the program a bit. Dr. Makato Kuno is going to be in this venue, and she's going to use AI to design teaching and learning activities. Dr. Pudu, were you here? Where's the accounting science colleagues? Okay, I think they're already gone outside. Yeah, I think they're already waiting the venue. So teaching elements and the accounting equation, that's subject specific, that's going to be in exam all 2, right? Exam all 2 is teaching the elements and the accounting equation. And I'm going to be doing building maths minds using AI and Lego. So if you want to play games with Lego, join me. For modeling in South African classrooms, so what I'm going to be using is Lego and AI, but I'm not going to use this venue. So you're going to join me. You're going to follow Tabang. You end up follow Tabang. We're using another venue outside, just above us, where there's round tables that we can sit around, right? Everything is already set up for you in that venue. So Lego and AI follow Tabang. Dr. Makato Kunu is here. Accounting is in exam all 2. For those that are online, you have 2 options. You join Richard and David in the AI Prompt Engineering Educators Workshop, which David and Richard will post the link now, or you can also stay in the session and which is streamed to Dr. Makato Kunu's session as well. Okay. After that, you only got 1 hour. Facilitators only 1 hour. This includes myself, and it's 1 hour. Thereafter, we're gonna meet in the foyer for lunch, and we're gonna close in the foyer. Prof. Makano will close for us in the foyer, right? Understand? How many? Okay, let's recap. Next session for how long? Thereafter? Hey, I said thereafter Prof. Makano is gonna close. Thereafter, Prof. Makano is closing for us in the foyer where we have lunch. Okay, let's go, colleagues. Thank you.